Hey, do me a huge favor before you start this episode, and please rate and review this show. By doing this simple task, it helps me rank higher on the podcast charts and helps me reach more entrepreneurs who are looking for free content like this. It will take you less than 30 seconds of your time. Thank you in advance, and I hope you enjoy today's episode. It was an I wanted to quit weekend. Oh my gosh, I wanted to quit. Throw in the towel. When I say quit, I mean quit my testimonial guy stuff, quit ClickFunnels, quit the 2CCX, quit the coaching. And so it was like, I'm taking 2 days off completely. And I'm going to recharge, step away, all those things. It probably should have been 5 days. It's so funny too, because as I have this testimonial client where I'm trying to get testimonials from their customers, but they're first step of the value ladder. So there's no relationship built. So it's a lot harder to get them to commit to the idea of like, heck yeah, I do want to show up and give you a testimonial. Awesome. And then you got to get them to schedule the calendar appointment. And then you got to get them to show up. So as I've been going at it for a week or so and sending out emails, I've learned, okay, here's a great email structure to send to get somebody to express interest that yes, I would like to jump on camera and give you a testimonial and be interviewed. So once I got to that spot, I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be easy from here. And then so I replied back to the guy and I was like, hey, all right, here's the calendar link to schedule. And of course they didn't schedule. And I'm like, oh, I was devastated. I was like, oh no. And so now I get an opportunity to work on the reply email. And I'll tell you quick the two things I'm going to put in there that I didn't have in there before. So I sent my email reply was, hey, fantastic. So glad you'll do the interview. Or something like that. Here's the calendar link to set it up. I look forward to chatting on camera. Send. And then into the void. No reply. It's been a couple days. And so I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, like, set some expectations. Tell them how long it's going to take. So I'm going to reply to the people who say, yes, I'll schedule one. And I'm going to re-reply to this one guy and say, hey, so glad you'll jump on camera with us and answer some questions. Say it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes. Typically the conversation takes 15 to 20 minutes. And here's a couple of questions that I'm going to ask, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Right? Like, just paint the picture for them. So they're like, oh, okay. Versus, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll jump on the call. That sounds easy. It's only 15 to 20 minutes. And, oh, that's all you're going to ask me? Great. Versus, like, schedule the call, and they're like jumping into the void. Anyway, so there's a lesson that I'm learning, but I realized too, the guy's going to someone's going to schedule the call, and a percentage aren't going to show up. They'll forget, or they'll blow it off, or I think people will blow it off, they'll see it on their calendar, and they'll decide not to, or they won't put it on their calendar at all. Anyway, I'm not going to, it's just the way it works, right? 100 people are going to say, yes, I'll do the call. X percentage will schedule the call. And then X percentage will actually show up. And then X percentage of the content will be usable, right? I'll tell you another epiphany I had too is it's for low value. It's for people low on the value ladder or at the beginning of the value ladder. So no solid relationship has been built. But instead of doing the way these customers are coming to me that I'm trying to set up these calls with, is they've replied to a customer satisfaction survey. And so it's already, I'm thinking, come out of the gate, instead of come out of the gate with a customer satisfaction survey, come out of the gate with something like, hey, we'd like to interview you about your experience so far. Like, come out of the gate that way. And then when you get to the point that they schedule the call, ask a couple questions, and then you can know how to go from there. You could actually, what you could do, this is an epiphany that the Lord gave me. Or I probably heard it somewhere, but it's the Lord. Higher power, God, source, whatever. I might just start using the Lord in everything I say. See how people react. The Lord told me. Oh my gosh. Thank you for indulging me. So the Lord told me. Now, hey, anybody that uses that thinks that, I love you. Anybody who uses that language already, oh my gosh, I love you. God bless you. Thank you for laughing with me. So anyway, the Lord told me, hey, set it up so if the workflow is, instead of sending say we want to get a customer satisfaction survey, or we want to know your experience, or whatever, that's benign and people delete and are sick of hearing, are sick of seeing those emails, send an email that says, hey, our CEO or someone on our team or our videographer wants to interview you for your experience. Are you in? Or something, I don't know. I'll play with it. But you send that out, and then they say yes. And you say, great. Here's what you can expect. It's a, 10 to 15 to 20 minute call. Here's some of the questions we're going to ask. Click on this link to set up the call. Okay? And so they click on the link to set up the call. And then there's some questions to ask before they set up the call. And then depending on how those questions are asked, it's like a survey. You could do a survey funnel, right? And depending on how they answer one or two of the questions, it either sends them to a calendar where they set up a live call, or it sends them to a video ask, pre-recorded video questions type of a call, where they're still getting interviewed live, shall we say, on camera, but the questions are pre-recorded. Does that make sense? So, and I love this idea, and I think I've got a customer or a potential customer that I want to try this with, because I think it's genius, and I'll report back to how it works. Where was I going with this whole thing? Oh yeah, I was going to quit. Thank you for listening to that. But I was going to quit because I'll tell you a couple reasons. Two things I was going to talk about. I was going to relate this to. One, as people aren't responding to my emails that I'm sending out to get their testimonials, it affects my day. I don't know if you ever have that. Do you ever have that from your process? Your sales flow. It's like when someone says, yes, I'm interested, I'm on the top of the world. And then when they don't give you the check, you're crushed, right? I was always saying when I was in more of your traditional sales jobs, mortgages, whatever, like, don't spend the money till that check clears, right? Like, don't you get excited till that check has cleared. And so learning how to not be run by my emotions as I'm trying to build this this testimonial business, a case study business. I'm definitely heading to getting people's case studies. Like, oh yeah, I want to. It's so fun. Like, fly me out to your customer location and I will do a full-on interview with them, capture all sorts of amazing B-roll sound bites, and just build an incredible case study that will just sell the crap out of your products. But anyway, even just talking about that, right? That's a scary proposition, heading that direction. Like, how can I do it? And then in the 2 Comma Club, Russell Brunson's program, this is the big thing. It's like, it's expensive. And I'm like, how does this membership site, this Mifke, which is the most incredible free gift ever, offer, how does all this stuff work? And I had no vision of it, and whatever vision people were trying to give me, I was unwilling to listen to, and I was like, I can't do it, I want to quit. And you know what I did? I was just, God, how can I be of service? How can I be of service? How would you have me, be of service to these people? And to who? And how? And also my son, and also this girl that I asked out on a date, and she was like, yes, and then she had to do her hair or something. And so I got a little rejected there. And then the testimonial people, one of the guys didn't schedule the appointment, and I was just emotionally crushed. That's what it was. Oh my God, and I'd been pushing so hard. Holy mackerel. This is like therapy for me. My podcast is therapy. But I am still in the game, man. You know what? The answer effectively, as I was praying a lot this weekend and just going back, instead of what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? It's like, God, how can I be of service, and to whom? How can I be of service, and to whom? Just kept on with that mantra. And one of the answers was jump on a coaching call and talk it out with one of the coaches. Like, do it. Ask for help. And I forget. Sometimes I can be on the island by myself. And I was like, yeah, jump on the coaching call and ask for help. So that's what I did. After my 2 days off, which were amazing, I watched Dune, the new Dune, which is freaking unbelievable. It's just so well done. Super fun. I mean, it's got its flaws, but as far as epic movie, amazing. I watched Elvis again. Love Elvis. The new Elvis with the Baz Luhrmann Elvis. So good. Again, it's got its flaws, but it's such a fun movie to watch. And then I watched the new Maverick movie. The new Top Gun Maverick, which I must say was pretty good. I enjoyed that too. It has its flaws, but super fun popcorn fodder. Thumbs up on all 3 of those. All right. One last thought. I have no idea what I'm going to call this podcast episode.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Table Rush Talk Show. For resources to help you sell your stuff, go to belove.media/resources. That's belove.media/resources. And be sure to subscribe, comment, 5-star, and share. Thank you again for listening.